poverty have been weaponized. And because it's been so weaponized, the politicians are using it very well. Elections are not done on social media. Elections are done when you leave your house, carry your PVC, go to a polling unit, exercise your vote, wait for it to be counted, and ensure that it is transmitted electronically, full stop.
The All Progressive Congress APC has won the Ekiti State governorship election and 5 of the 6 by-election held in Ondo, Enugu, Nasarawa, Kano, Kebbi, and Rivers State. This was as the winner of the governorship election in Ekiti State, Governor Biodun Oyebaji of the APC promised to work harder and smarter to serve the people after his landslide victory. Oyebaji polled about 319,224 votes to defeat People's Democratic Party Dr. Wole Oluyede, who scored 40,543 votes. ADC Ambassador Dare Bijide came third with about 12,872 votes. Like Oyebaji, other APC candidates in 6 by-elections held simultaneously with the Ekiti poll emerged victorious, like I said earlier, in Enugu, Nasarawa, Ondo, Kano, and Kebbi State, but lost in Rivers State to the PDP. But in response to the outcome of the elections in Ekiti, Yaga Africa yesterday identified critical shortcomings in result management, voter turnout, computation, consistency of sensitive election material, and public communication during Ekiti State governorship election. Now, the chairman of the 2026 Ekiti Election Observation Mission, Dr. Aisha Abdullahi, said BVAs or beavers failed to verify voters in 10% of polling units, adding that ballot secrecy was also compromised in about 17% location. But with this observation, will INEC be seen to have done well? Or more concern should be in the minds of Nigerians as it concerns the 2027 general election? Well, look at this and other critical issue as it concerns the most populous black nation on the planet will be one of our major focus on this edition of Dialogue today. And that is, we're looking critically not only at the election, but indeed the state of the nation as it stands. That's what we're having as a major discourse and better way to kickstart dialogue on this lovely week. We're talking about looking at that very election and looking at the forthcoming election in 2027 as much as we'll be also looking at the state of the nation. Well, to help us look at this, we have no other person, but anyway, we'll like call him a political analyst because he seems to have all of that. The political analyst is also an economist. And well, anyway, all I know is indeed he's a Nigerian that's pretty really concerned with what seems to be happening in the country. And I'm talking of no other person but Mr. I'll soon be putting ambassador, but let me leave the Mr. Gideon Oguh. Welcome to the show, and well, nice having you on the platform today.
Mike, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you, my audience.
Well, anyway, like I said, we really want to kickstart with the Ekiti governorship election. This will be one of the first time. You know, Ekiti has a funny scenario that governors do not return. And this will be the one of the first time that we're having a governor returning. We've had Shegu Oni, we've had former governors all seem not to return, but this is the first time that we'll be having a governor returned on account. And just like Yaga Africa said, they feel the election is a pure reflection. The result is a pure reflection of the wishes of the people of Ekiti State. But by and all, I want your reaction as it concerns this election, because there was a whole lot of talking points. Yaga Africa raised all of those issues. We talked about the issues of not only voters apathy. We had almost 34% of natural voters coming out to do these elections. But irrespective of that, what's your final assessment of this election itself?
Well, kudos to the winner, because it reflected the wishes of the people.
Okay.
But the procedures, are still flawed. We are still seeing voter apathy. Instead of improving to 40-something%, we are sliding to 37%. We are still seeing vote buying.
Okay.
We are still seeing toggery, even though they were minimal, but they still showed their faces. So in terms of procedural preparations, is INEC there? There's still a lot of work for INEC to do.
Okay.
If you suppose that with what is coming in Osun in a few days from now, INEC really need to sit up. For instance, another sour point was the issue of voters card, the permanent voters card.
Yeah.
There was a video that we saw where certain individuals were being issued on the day of election. Those are not very good things to be seen.
Yeah.
If you want the procedure to be fair,
Yeah.
and you want the competition to actually be square, and the people who lost to take it in a sportsmanship way.
Okay.
But overall, there is a winner now as far as the law is concerned.
Okay, now still talking about how it played out on Saturday. We also saw a viral video of EFCC officials being chased away from the polling units. And yes, and then funny enough, all Yaga Africa said when they made assessment of what they feel were some of the shortcomings of the election, they talked about transparency itself. They talked about a widespread report of vote buying and voters' inducement. And let's look at that because that's another critical point as it concerns our elections.
Yeah.
It was quite evident that also took part during the election. And by now, many Nigerians would have come to the realization that the 5,000 naira, the 10,000 naira is not enough for the next 4 years when lack or poor governance seems to be the order of the day. So, yeah, we talked about INEC and the need for them to, but what of the minds of Nigerians? That's another talking point.
This sad point, the sad reality is that poverty has been weaponized. And because it's been so weaponized, the politicians are using it very well. Now, you won't tell a hungry man who can AK a living that 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira is a powerful fund. Why go for it? When he knows that if he loses that 5,000 at that moment, he's not likely to pick it up in 1 week or 2 weeks. So poverty is making vote buying very attractive.
Okay.
2, the lack of governance. The people have resolved to the point that since when these people win and they get into their offices, they forget about us. So the only time they remember us and bring anything for you as an individual is towards the elections. If you let it go, they will still win. And if they win, you have lost not collecting, and they are not going to give you anything. So the poverty have become one of the driving forces. Yeah, it has been weaponized, and the people are actually feeling the brunt. The third part of it is politics in Nigeria is not ideological.
Okay.
It is just some powerful individuals, more powerful than the institutions of states, determining the beats and directions of elections. So if you see this one, Oyebanji, by reason of the Pharisees of this world and all the other people who have adopted him, he became
and
like
canvas for him.
Yes, he became like a household name. But you could see that they are the powerful brokers that were actually championing his candidature.
Okay.
He didn't, you cannot pick the Ekiti man saying, I voted for Yembaji because he did A or B or no. It's because my leader, our leaders, our fathers. So it's not ideological. And since we play politics of lack of ideology, we will continue to bring in persons or recycle persons that are coming based on recommendations. And that is why our politics will always be negatively impacting governance.
Okay, now still talking about the outcome of the elections, because before now, many persons will say it looks as if APC will be having more of a dismal performance. Going by the recent trend of many persons really not happy with the ruling party. We're talking about that seems to be on the social media.
Yes.
And there's this talk that all that is happening on the social media is quite different than what we play on the ground. Now, if you allow me, if you look at the outcome of the election, Oyebaji, or rather the APC, I rather put the APC, pulled a total of 319,224.
97% of the votes.
And their closest rival was no other person but PDP's Oluyode, who just pulled almost 40,543, beating ADC with just 12,000. And now let's look at that, because many will say these off-cycle elections are more like a reflection of what the general elections will look like. Now, do you feel with this outcome of the elections that APC might really stand a positive chance of a landslide victory come next year? So I want you to differentiate between the actual elections and elections done on social media.
Thank you. The Nigerian youths, I speak to them in this. Elections are not done on social media. Elections are done when you leave your house, carry your PVC, go to a polling unit, exercise your vote, wait for it to be counted, and ensure that it is transmitted electronically, full stop. But if this will not be done, no matter the hype, the virality of the information on the social media, it wouldn't. Now, let's return to Ekiti. The fact is, as far as APC is concerned in Ekiti, they were the ruling party.
Yeah.
As far as APC was concerned, they were able to meet with the shakers and makers of society within that confine.
Okay.
And they were already assured that he was coming back.
Okay.
So as far as that election is concerned, it was won not yesterday. It was won prayer. Let's go to 2027.
Okay.
Why the APC is most likely to win, even though it's performing poorly, is that they have run a test. I said it last time I was on air, and I told you, look at the primaries that brought Tinubu back as the presidential candidate of APC.
Okay.
They did a mathematics. What was the mathematics? We have 36 states in Nigeria, plus Abuja 37. All you need get is 300 votes. If you get 300 votes in each state in Nigeria, you will have over 10 million votes. Once you have 10 million votes, your automatically is going to be, because the apathy continues. Now, come to Ekiti now. The margin of persons who came out to vote is below 400,000.
Yeah.
Which means that calculation or permutation that I made is what they are following. So you can be sure that at every point, in every state, APC is going to do everything within its fold to make sure that there is a 300,000 votes for them. And if they consistently do that, I can tell you for sure they have won the election. Now, can I say same for the other political parties? The answer is no. For instance, the article of this world is not going to be too sure that he will pick 300,000 votes in 18 states. I can't be very sure. I cannot say same for Peter Obi. Why? The hype of Peter Obi right now is not as it were when he was in Labour Party. If you will allow me without trying to dismarket him, the truth is Peter Obi for now have many internal issues unresolved. His credibility is being debated. If you go to the social media, you discover that there are people for and against him. Why? His base, Anambra State, have been hijacked or sold out, whichever language, to the APC.
By the
ruling governor.
Of
and
Abga.
That governor is likely to deliver the 300 of Anambra
to the APC.
On
the mines from Abga.
Yes. If you go to Minister of Works, his own state is likely Minister of Mine Eboyi is likely to deliver his 300 to him. If you go to Enugu, he's likely to deliver his 300
Imo, the present
Imo, you are able to
forum.
shove the 600. So, do you see the mathematics of the Southeast vis-a-vis the presidential candidate that is likely to emerge from that zone? So that alone is an issue. Let's go to Kano, North Central. You discover that the Kwankwasoria movement is not longer the way it was in the other election.
When it was with the NNPP.
The man in Kano is not going to work for 1 million votes. No, he's going to be working for the 400. And it will be too easy for him to get the 400. Now, even if Kwankwaso gets 1 million votes this time around, which is not going to be possible, is Kano alone enough to deliver the presidential election to Peter Obi? So you can see the permutations that because the opposition have divided the votes already among themselves, the chances is that if APC continue this their mechanism, 2027 election is almost won by APC.
Well, anyway, anyway, you gave us another analogy to the issue of how most certainly they might clinch it at the end of the day. And with the 300,000 votes, like you said, if give and take, we're talking about close to 10, 12 million votes at the end of the day. But let's leave that, because many Nigerians will also want to argue on social media. But we are not on social media now alone. We're in the studios doing this. Now, let's come to the issue of the elections itself. And let's look at the election umpire, because as much as we're looking at the state of the nation, that is the most critical part. If we get it wrong during our elections, most certainly every other thing will follow, and we might really be in deep waters. Now, let's not drown, but let's float on this. And my question now is, as it stands now, INEC came out just the week before to express that on the mind they seem prepared, but they seem to have a whole lot of cases in court that they feel would also be a stumbling block to them actually giving us a free, credible, and most acceptable election come next year. Now, these cases are either against the party, more like pre-election issues. Some are basically against INEC itself and the issue of the timetable, which we do know that they are appealing and all of that. But let's look at it. Do you see this as indeed a stumbling block as the organization of the 2027 election draw near? And will it have any major impact as concerns the election?
If I get your question correctly, is INEC ready for a general election?
Let's look at those dragging their hands and legs at the side first.
INEC have never been ready, and INEC will not be ready. Why? INEC is a parastatal of government that is battling with financial
constraint.
So his first major problem is money.
Yeah.
Now, who gives the money and the timing of the money can use it to his advantage? The second problem is the judiciary.
Can be a bargaining. Are you saying it can be a bargaining chip?
Of course. Of course. Remember, I've told you once that a friend of mine, this is not in the textbook, he defined politics as anything you can do to get power without shedding blood.
That's more like Nigerian politics.
So, I can stiff neck INEC to where INEC gives me the way I will win the election, and then I give them money. That's one. Then the judiciary, you know, I don't want to say we are becoming a laughing stock, but the judiciary for some time now have not proven that they are apolitical. I sometimes see them as they are card carriers of certain political parties. So the pre-election issues will make a nonsense. Let me just speak to one. Look at the ADC issue, that they should be deregistered.
Yes.
There is another one that says APC should be punished. There is another one that is saying NDC should go. There's another one saying a court party should be this. So, which of them do we go with?
So that's why I was asking the question: would these court issues not
what
put a stumbling block to the elections?
Is maintaining status quo until a competent court. But then that means whatever they are doing is tentative.
That's my question.
It's tentative. So if the court goes west, they might be forced to turn west. If the court goes east, they might be forced to turn east. So can you say such a person is ready? The answer is no. You're setting
can the process be credible on account of that?
That brings us to the issue of the citizen, the electorate. Are we ready for an election? Is our mindset on the ballot box or on how to survive Nigeria?
Because many Nigerians will say their stomach infrastructure will definitely determine.
If we are more concerned about the survivor of the me and not the Nigerian state, why should I put in so much about it?
So no surprise we had no surprise we had low turnout in the Ekiti election, 34-37%.
They are not ready. I have even predicted a 33% voter turnout
during the Ekiti election.
During the Osun and the general elections. Because almost everybody, only those who will get the money, will go and vote. If you didn't share money to many people, they are not going to vote.
Okay, now, well, anyway, still talking about money, we're looking at the state of the nation. Well, in case you're joining us, like we said, it's Dialogue Today, and on Dialogue Today, we're looking at the state of the election with critical emphasis on the last conducted election on Saturday of the general elections, state election rather, where we had no other person but the incumbent winning by almost 319,224 votes, beating his closest rival, that of the PDP Oluyede, with just 40,249. But many will say, as much as the election seems to be coming, what preparation is INEC putting in place? And just like my guest has said, well, he has his own doubts and reservation as it concerns whether INEC will ever be prepared. But anyway, what we are prepared about to talk here is on indeed the state of the nation. And many will say Nigerians are far more hungry now than they used to be. Hence, Bele come first, if you understand what I mean. But anyway, let's look at the Bele, or rather the economy itself, and look at the issues surrounding it itself. Now, you totally agree with me, or you even said it, so I'll rather totally agree with you that the economy seems to be the one taking the front burner as it stands now. And if you look at Nigeria economy, our GDP growth rate around this year has always been 3.9 to 4.1%. That is how it is. But the only beautiful thing as it stands now when it concerns the economy is our foreign reserve has increased about 51 billion United States dollars, which is also something to smile about. But irrespective of us smiling, if you take your mind back to the May outing of our GDP, it increased by 15.93%, one of the highest we've had in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Let's look at our economy. Where are we at it stands? And do you feel we are more like on a crossroad? Because if you look at it, many will say the reforms that this administration has put in place have been in a way beneficial to the non-oil sector. And when we talk about the non-oil sector, the business class, the companies, the industries. But irrespective of that, power has always bedeviled us as it stands. But let's look at the economy in itself. Are we now in a strong footing? And would you say this administration will campaign on the ground of doing well as it concerns its reforms?
Okay. For the economy.
Yeah, 3.9, 3.4% growth.
Policies of the government are well intended. But are they well implemented?
Another question.
That is where the sour taste comes out. So instead of the policy pulling men or households from penury, more are being pushed into the poverty net. So that is a mismatch.
Okay.
The other paradox that is also very laughable is that in one sweep, our GDP is growing. But what is making it grow? Is it impacting the economy? The answer is no. So you see the oil sector increasing revenue.
Yes.
And so you can talk of a reserve that is growing. However, is the production, the non-oil sector, also growing? How many jobs have been created in the month of May? By what percentage have unemployment come down? If it ever had done? To what level has security improved? Why am I going to security in a way? The issue is the Nigerian state have, permit me to brand them into 4. The oil sector, which is the petroleum exploitation and
exploration and sales,
which is that. The second one is the manufacturing. The third is agriculture. And the last is the service sector. Let's leave it at that point. Now, to the oil sector, they are doing well because the prices are okay. Production, though lowered, but prices gone higher, so revenue is coming. And government is interested in revenue. You come to manufacturing, it is nosediving because power have never been addressed, will not be addressed. Why? Even Aso Rock have decided to go to solar. So
we have enough sun. Okay, well, don't mind me.
So that's where we are. Yeah. So now the manufacturers in Nigeria are not yet manufacturing using solar. They still believe in the power transmission. So that is an issue. Then you come to agriculture. Insecurity is not allowing it to be the best. Now, why am I doing this sectorial analysis? The highest employer of labor in Nigeria is agriculture. So if agriculture is not doing well, what does that mean? There is plenty of persons who will have been able to make a living but can no longer. Who are they now? Poor. What does the poor do? They depend on the state, welfareism of the state. Now, is the state ready to bring the revenue from the oil and spend it on the citizen? The answer is no. You rather have politicians who are making provision to buy vehicles that one vehicle can feed 10 million Nigerians. So where are we? So the economy is in such a bad state that for the poor, they just have to resign to fate to die poor. For those in authority, they cannot maintain their lifestyle without pilfering, and so they keep ensuring that budgets are padded, and so there will be free money to spend. That is the then you come to the agriculture where insecurity is good. What have government done in credible terms, practical terms, to stem down the trend of insecurity?
Okay, now I really want us to look at that, because you talked about agriculture, and in all honesty, when we look at the May posting of our inflation that rose to about 15.93%, food inflation year on year for that of May is about 17.1%. And even if you look at the core inflation itself, it's just 16.1%. So which means food inflation has always been the driver
of the inflation
itself,
yes.
Inflationary trend and rate as it stands. Now let's look at it. Do you feel more Nigerians are going to bed hungry than they used to be? That's the first question. And number two is, we know insecurity is there. We know we have loopholes as it concerns farming, production, taking it to where it will be used, and it gets into the market and being sold to normal consumers like us. But let's look at not just the chain itself, but look at where government seems to be lacking. Let's move insecurity. Security is affecting every strata of our life. You understand? Be it education, be it the agriculture, be it even our daily lives. Insecurity seems to be. But what other shortcomings is government having as it concerns also helping to expand that sector of the economy?
Better. Now, the failure of governments that will have made Nigerians a better place to stay are in 4 fronts.
Okay.
The first one is we lack a development plan. People don't just do this place you are today. Didn't just come into existence by fiat. Somebody sat down and decided to design what we are now talking from.
Okay. Yes.
Now, have government in the last few years, 10 years, or all the years of democracy, brought out a plan? This is where Nigeria is.
Okay.
This is where we want Nigeria to be.
Okay.
These are the processes we should take to get
to
there.
actualize.
Can you find one?
In recent time, because I know Vision 2010, I know Vision 2020, I know Vision...
Those were military.
Okay.
That's why I limited it to this democracy.
Okay.
There are no plans. And now a plan, like I was told in my economic development class, that a plan is not a plan if it does not have a date, a vision, and a purpose.
Okay.
So right now, if which of these governments have told us, I want to face food scarcity, and these are the plans I have
put in place, or
put in place time bound, so that we can come here to say, you said you are going to do this in 2 months. What have you done? There's nothing like that. That's the first problem of government. The second one is we don't take note of when we are weak or when we are strong. Our cost benefit analysis is too weak or is non-existent. We have never taken time to look at ourselves. In where do Nigerians have their strength? Where is their weaknesses?
Comparative advantage.
How do we now manage the in-between? It takes tactfulness to manage it. But even though Nigeria is blessed with people that are tactful, they will never find a position of voice that will make their impact on knowledge to comfort. So that's another one. We have politicized almost everything. The last one is our educational procedures. Forgive me if I say this. Many youths believe that education is a scam. Why? They have been telling me when I was younger that the future belongs to the youth. In fact, in Nigeria, you are the leaders of tomorrow. Can I ask you, sir, how many youths are in leadership now? So if we don't leave this circle of recycling, that people with no idea keep finding themselves in the same place, then you cannot continue to do something the same way and be expecting a different result. I think they said it's an example of insanity.
Well, anyway, we'll not be insane in asking the questions, but might be insane in getting some of the statistics that are making us really wondering if we're in the right footing. But it will be right for me to say, yes, that's what we're doing right here on Dialogue. Like we said, we're looking at the state of the nation and critically looking at some major high points. We're talking about politics itself, which we have just talked about. And remember, like we stated earlier, during the weekend elections, we had about 6 major elections, or 7. And the APC has taken about 5 of it and left the PDP with 1. But it's only right I inform you that that of the PDP happened in Rivers State. And guess what? It was one member of the Rainbow Coalition being pushed forward by the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. It was his own candidate that won the by-election in Rivers State. So you know where it stands. But it's not APC, PDP it is. But irrespective of that, you also do know that the state election is done and dusted. And Oyebaji was declared the winner, still the incumbent. And many will say, well, maybe it's a pure reflection of what really transpired on that very day on Saturday. But irrespective, that is why what we're looking at and taking center stage on our discussion today. Like we said, it's still state of the nation. And I feel one major talking point still as it concerns the nation is the issue of insecurity. You remember I stated earlier during our course of discussion that insecurity is affecting every facet of our lives. And many will say, whether, God forbid, forgive my language, that maybe it's now becoming a way of life. You wake up in the morning, you hear people are being adopted in Kebbi. Buildings were burnt yesterday, and a whole lot of persons who are adopted in Kebbi. First-hand information we're giving to you right here on Dialogue. We always enjoy giving you first-hand information. But irrespective of that, a whole lot of things seems to be happening, and a need for us to talk about it. Insecurity, like I said, is taking a dangerous turn, and many are saying, are we getting it right? How come we're not winning the war against insecurity? And honestly, where should we be about it? Let's look at it. Insecurity. Wow. It's becoming an everyday occurrence and a discussion that never goes away.
No. But insecurity will not go, because right now, insecurity has become a thriving business. If you ask people in the local palace, if outside the studio, they will tell you that the highest paying job now is banditry. Why? They brandish their money, they
do TikTok giveaway,
and nobody gets them arrested. But why are we getting it wrong? And why is the police is not working? I believe that security is supposed to be everybody's business. But most Nigerians have handed it over to government. And government is too little to secure everywhere. Forgive these statistics I will rail out. Nigeria, we have about 200 million people. The total number of persons engaged in security, as far as Nigeria is concerned, are under 2 million.
Yes.
Now, how do you expect one person to even monitor 100 people?
It's not possible.
So, if
you do the math,
how do we think it will go away? So that's how bad it is. Now the government comes to say, let's do state police. Then you wonder, why change the gun from a bandit and put it in the hand of a kidnapper? Are they not the same people? Because the politicians have never shown the political will anywhere, whether they were federal or local government or anywhere. Look at our ordinary vigilantes that are within the street. You see the autocracy they show? Then you bring it from that level and put it in the hand of a governor who in this APC primary decided that this is what will happen, and that is exactly what happened. Nigeria are power drunk. And I remember Dr. Ogene of late memory, of glorious memories. He's late now. He told us in class that give a Nigerian a table and a telephone and he become a Caesar.
Okay, well, anyway, we will not be going to Julius Caesar because we know how it ended for him. But let's remain here in the studios and look at it. Now, the biggest question in the minds of many Nigerians, yeah, we know it's now turning out to be a business. And once it's business, people always fight back because you are in everywhere encroaching in their means of livelihood. Yes, we know. But the question now is, why are we not? Is it the political will that is lacking for us to rein in this issue? Yes, we've neutralized a whole lot of them. Just as it stands now, the Oyo adoption will still be a sour taste in our mouth as it concerns insecurity. But we do know that the military forces has encircled that forest, that the bandits are now even relaxing some of their demands because there's no exit point. But that is reactional.
Thank you. You just answered it.
Not proactiveness.
Why would there be proactiveness?
Let us understand why we are not always so proactive with issues.
Because we can't get that data. I told you this more and more. See, if you were coming here, no, this place is not a good place to show it. Because this is a very civilized place, right?
Okay.
Do you know that a Nigerian police officer can, because of a little amount of money, I want to put it with some dignity.
Yes, please give them small.
Pass a man who should be arrested. I can carry anything in my car, for example, knowing that I'm carrying that thing. All I just need to do is have some money in my hands. When I get there, I say, officer, how are you? The children must be hungry. And I can get anywhere. Is that a country that wants to gather data? In your newspaper report, you said 200 and something kidnappings have taken place. Have they been able to say, A, how did it happen? B, where were they taken to? C, how did they succeed? Ransoms are paid almost every day. For you to carry 100 million, the bank must have released some money. There's no human being that is holding 100 million in his house. But did you trace how 100 million left an account and it ended in bandits? These are data that enables you to plan. But you don't plan. Like I keep saying, we don't plan. We don't look for data. We just react. They caught this man, this kidnapper in that house. You can't knock down the house.
That's Edo State.
Not just Edo now. You just knock down the house. As if the house was the problem. The house was not the problem. So we don't take time to investigate how it led from point A to point B. What was the system that was involved? What were the individuals that were involved? Well, nobody asked questions. Even this or your own that we are talking about. If truly they have circled everywhere, so there's no missing. Why will you not send dogs and drones and be able to get some? I believe, in all honesty, that no bandit, no kidnapper is more efficient in security or handling of guns or weapons or ammunition more than the Nigerian army. So why will you just be telling us you've done this, the wins, and so that you can have media hype and we clap for you? Why not do the real job? The job is get these children out.
But talking about the job is getting them out, we also do know with strong information reaching dialogue, because we're always privy to have some information that they've tried to do some of these rescue in the last 2 weeks, and they've lost about 3 military officers on account of trying to rescue these children.
Is that not a failure?
Because did
you hear what you just said? 3 military officers died in the account. Proper mapping was not done. Even in Ukraine fighting war with Russia, how many military men are dying? Why should we celebrate what we should condemn? Ukraine is fighting Russia. Russia is fighting. How many military are dying? Iran and whatever, just winning. How many military? We should do the needful. We don't do the needful. That's why insecurity is remaining. That's why they are taking the security forces for a ride.
So now let's talk about quick response, because it was also stated that if there was quick response on account of these, most of the adoptees will not in every way be adopted. I want us to look at two major issues. Number one, quick response, and number two, integration.
Quick response, there will be very little we can do. Why? These bandits, they choose where they go. Now, some of the locations in Oyo State are really far. I don't know if you have personally visited Oyo State. The distance between Ibadan and Ogbomosho is a journey. Before you now go to a place called whatever, towards the Benin Republic. So it's a journey. And the chain of command of the security system is from the headquarters.
Central.
So it will be, there's nothing we can do about that.
So are you saying some major part of Nigerians are ungoverned and have lack of government?
Many. Most. Take away the urban centers. The rural are not. There are local governments, sir, that the total number of policemen, or let me not say policemen, security men in the local government, the total local government, they are not up to 150. And in that place, you have close to 30 to 20 or 30-something communities. There are places that don't yet have police station in Nigeria, Yahweh.
Yes.
Not to talk of military formation. So what are you talking about? If you need a military service, they need to come from their high location to come to that place. So reaction will be an issue. Then cooperation of citizens. I think that's where we handed our safety to bandits. You see 300 or 100 motorcycles go over a place.
Yes.
Not one Nigerian will be able to say this is suspicious and make the needful contacts. I don't know. Government getting blame. We say we get our blame.
Okay, now still talking about blame, because this is another major one, and I talked about reintegration. Yes. Many Nigerians came out.
I no support, no go there. I no support.
Please. Many Nigerians came out yesterday
to be reintegrated into Nigerian society.
Many Nigerians came out last week to say, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, please stop governors from having these de-radicalized, as they say, terrorists be reintegrated back to the society, that they can never be totally de-radicalized. Because we are still looking at ways of curbing the insecurity. But de-radicalization and reintegration be ever a possible way.
This religion of banditry and kidnapping is an ideology. Boko Haram says Western education is bad. It's an ideology. And so they were attacking schools and all institutions of learning. Is that not correct?
Yes.
This ideology says use people to make money. They are the thing you seize them to make money. So how do you change such a person? How will you teach that person another means of earning money? They are telling me radicalize. How? Remember that the goal of every work we do is to make money. So are you telling me that as 40, 50, 60, I should go and learn carpentry? Then I will be thinking I will make money? Look, this country have laws. This country. Okwama in Delta State, military officers were killed. I only recently did the court make a pronouncement that those arrested should be released, even though they know that they were not the one that killed them. True or false?
True.
Why should people not kill military officers or security officers? Then you arrest them and begin to radicalize them. What is sweet English? If equals are not treated equally, then anarchy is the name of the game.
But anyway, there will be no anarchy here, because let's look at also the issue of how government has taken a different turn. Just last week, for the first time, a woman was sentenced to death on account of being a terrorist, financier, and supplier of arms. And recently now, Tuji's mother and sister were both given 20 years or 40 years
That's
imprisonment.
media celebration.
Do you feel trial is the way out?
To be seen that they are doing something. It's not the trial that is our issue. Go and get them wasted. Neutralize them. Anyone who takes arm against the state ought to be neutralized. The law have not changed. So how come it's changing because certain interests are involved? No, it's not. It's not. I don't believe that. All those convictions they made, whatever, they are just media issues. We want to deal with security. Let's apply the law. There is a law for anyone who takes arm
against
the state. Let the law take its course. You will see that it will come down. Because can I use Anini? Yes. When he was arrested and was to, even they were crying, they don't want to die, they were killing. Omondo Super was killing.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to die. When it was their day to die, they were weeping. So if the law begin to take its course, some of these groups, they will disappear. It is because they know that the law is not being followed. And afterwards, if I go to prison, I will come back. So
at least we have some imprisoned already, and their group is telling us to release them, to release the adopted or your students and teachers.
Brother, there's nothing, the government and the people, we are not yet ready to solve our security problem. That's why I said, since it has become a business, it will be here for a long time.
But anyway, our business is to talk about issues, and that's why we dialogue on dialogue. And well, indeed, that's how we are really saying it today. And we can go all through 360 degrees, and the heart of Mr. Gideon will not be changed as it concerns the steps being taken by government to deal with the insecurity issues in the country. But also time is well spent, and anytime we do this, we always enjoy having your feedback. But before we do let you go, Mr. Gideon Oguh, we're still talking about the state of the nation, and we've just looked at three major critical aspects. We talked about the elections, we talked about the issue of with the economy, and also now we've talked about one that seems to be hitting your nerves badly, and that's the issue of insecurity. And but another I want us to quickly, just 1 or 2 minutes to look at, is the issue of the budget. I know it will draw a from you. I do understand. Implementation of the budget has taken a center stage in recent
less than 15% implementation.
Sorry, it's something that's
so where are you
a
going
lot of
to?
Nigerians have.
You tell us you are going to budget 100%, then you implement 15%. Is that not a reason? So that our politics, if we go back to the first statement, is not ideological. If not, if they were debates to discuss what you said you will do and so you did not do, if I don't give you light, don't vote for me. I wish those are the things that will drive the elections. My dear, the budget circle now is a fanciful document that after it has been authorized, authenticated,
or presented,
put in the library. If not, what is 15% implementation of a budget that I should celebrate? And meanwhile, you've been rolling the budgets over. I don't want to go there. Thank you.
Well, anyway, I will still need to say thank you. Not to what you just said now, but to everything that you've said on the show today. We need to thank you so much. And I'm talking of no other person, but political analysts, economists, security experts, and a not happy Nigerian.
I'm not happy, of course I'm not.
As it concerns the state of the nation, we truly want to appreciate you. Like I said, I'd rather call you ambassador now, because it looks as if you're ambassador for the masses. The masses.
I've always been ambassador.
So I want to thank you so much, Ambassador Gideon Oguh, for really coming through and giving us your own analysis as it concerns the state of the nation. I would truly appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it too.
Well, anyway, it's more like a wrap on the show today. And you do know that every time we tend to talk on dialogue, which is the reason we are dialoguing, we always would want to get your feedback. And your feedback is always well appreciated as it concerns this show. And that's why we use the opportunity to thank all those persons that have been sending their reactions and comment as it concerns all our programs, not just only Dialogue or Viewpoint, but every other program we have on this awesome and indeed appreciative platform. We'll say, well, we thank you so much, but keep them coming. Like I said, send your reactions, comment, contributions, and indeed what you feel we need to discuss. We are open to dialogue, and that they are already there on your screen. Send them to our different social media platforms, and most especially, we will tell you we'll honor them. That's what we'll definitely do. But what we'll do now is a quick break, and news will come next. It's still Viewpoint on Atlantic TV, and I still remain Michael Gobadia. Bye for now.